Welcome to the Anything for Sports podcast. My name is Drew Jackson. Today with us, we have Adrienne Puletasi, previously from Liberty High School, now with CSN Coyotes. She played basketball and ran track and now plays basketball at CSN. Adrienne, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So I wanted to jump right into the conversation. I wanted to start with your background. Talk to us a little bit about where you're from and kind of how you got here to Vegas and the Liberty High School.
Well, I'm from Hawaii, Eva Beach, and um, growing up, I didn't play any sports, and I was a chubby kid, regular poly kid. Grew up around a lot of like, it was more, how do I say it? In Hawaii, it's mostly Asians, and like everyone is short, so like the community is just like, you know, yeah.
So you were like a
So
giant over there.
yeah, I had to look down at people all the time. So,
And how long were you there before you came over here? Like, at what age did you move?
I moved here when I was in 6th grade. So about I think that was 2017.
So you moved here when you were...
When I was oh my gosh, what age was that? When I was 6th grade. What did you say that? 6th grade. So 2017, which I would have been 12, I think. Yeah.
What was it like? Did you have like an adjustment period?
Oh yeah, it was hard moving here from Hawaii because the first of all, the weather here is way different. It's straight dry over here, but in Hawaii it's tropical, like you have a little bit of humidity, you're surrounded by water, but over here it's like just dust.
Was it easy? I mean, I know there is a community here. Did you feel, or did you have people you knew here already, or was it easy to kind of transition into the community and kind of get like acclimated? Did that help at all?
Well, my mom's sister, she lived here with her husband, and so we just decided to move over here because she was the only one of my mom's siblings that lived in Vegas, while my mom's other siblings live in Washington or Samoa. So we just decided to move here so she wasn't lonely. And her husband is kind of like old, so we just decided to move to help like take care of him too. When I moved here, the community, like the friend group that I found, like I was surrounded by mostly Mexicans or black and white people, so I just I just hung around with them until I got into high school, and that's when I met like polys.
And you guys still have family back in Hawaii?
Yes, we do. We
I'm
still do.
sure you're aware of like the fires and everything
Mhm.
back home, and thoughts and prayers to everyone
Yeah.
back there. Hopefully everyone's okay. Coming to Las Vegas again, kind of the change in scenery, change in culture. You jump into high school. Did you start basketball right away, or did you kind of start just with school?
I started basketball when I first moved here.
Okay.
So in 6th grade, you know, it was pretty rough start because I didn't know how to play basketball. I barely even knew the rules. I only knew how to dribble like a little bit. So like it was it was hard. And then I could barely even make a layup or a shot. And the basketball shoes I had weren't even real basketball shoes. They were running shoes. So, you just see a big girl in the gym with running shoes on playing basketball, That's pretty goofy. But yeah, that's how it was at first. Then we progressed and we're here now.
So did your parents, and I don't know how big basketball was in Hawaii,
Mhm.
but were they supportive of it? Did they want you to do like any other sports?
My dad was a volleyball player
Oh, okay.
when he was still in Samoa. So he was really like trying to edge me towards that sport. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like I wanted a challenge cuz not that volleyball isn't hard, but like I feel like basketball, like I feel like they do more conditioning
Mhm.
that's tougher than volleyball. And I definitely need to push myself considering I was like just this big chubby girl playing basketball. So I was like, but I did at one time I did do dual
Okay.
basketball and volleyball, but volleyball wasn't like I didn't play volleyball in high school. I just played it like for fun on the outside. Like I would
Mhm.
go to open gyms and stuff and I would play volleyball there. So that would help me keep me in shape for most of the part.
Sorry, dad. I'm sure he was fine with it after he kinda realized and
Yeah.
saw you starting to progress and picking up basketball. It's like, "Hey, I guess she's going with this. We'll back her."
Yeah. My dad's actually really supportive for me playing basketball. I mean, I know there are some times that he'll be like, "You should play volleyball. You should play." I'm like, "It's okay, dad. I think I'm just gonna stick to one sport."
So, being new to the sport, kinda starting to pick it up, getting acclimated, was it always easy for you? Was it something that you really had to work at? And what made you say, like, "Hey, this is something that I really wanna put the time in to get better and to see where I can go?"
Oh yeah, no. Basketball was not easy for me. Like I said, I was this just big chubby girl, so it was kind of hard. I had to really work hard to get where I am today, like especially with conditioning, um like just being mobile, um having like getting my attention span more wide so that I can be more like reactive and stuff. And um just being overall athletic, like I think that's a huge part. I feel like polys, like Polynesians, like they're born, a lot of them are born athletic
Mhm.
because I mean you can see like the NFL, like almost a good percentage of the NFL players are, I mean, Polynesian. So I feel like it's just the bloodline or something. And then you got WWE too. They're a different breed.
Yeah. So is that because I feel like that was always naturally part of your game. I don't remember, I'm pretty sure I'm not making this up in my head. I think it was last year or at the beginning of this year, I sent you a message. Like, you were always one of my favorite players. Just the way you played, like, was so aggressive, and you just did not care about the other team. Like,
Yeah.
it just always felt like that dominant performance of, like, people are just bouncing off you. You're just, like, straight to the basket, like, girl goes flying.
Yeah.
You don't look, you don't
Yeah.
react, you're not happy, you're just, like,
Yeah.
right to the free throw line. Like, I always loved that about you, like, because it brought toughness to the team, and I felt
Mhm.
like the team took energy from that, like, from your plays and just kind of built off of that momentum, which I feel like they really needed sometimes.
Yeah, I swear, like whenever I do that, I'm not being cocky. I'm trying not to be cocky. It's just that it like when you're in the heat of the moment, you just gotta like I try not to like whenever I make an and one or like get a block, I don't try to celebrate like as much. I probably celebrate more for my teammates when
Mhm.
they do that type of stuff rather than me. I just like walk to the free throw line.
Yeah, I can't
I
remember
just
really any celebrations. Again,
yeah.
you don't take people's hands when you get knocked down, you need to get up. Like, on another
Yeah.
team, you're like, "Oh, no,
I
not having that."
don't
So, really tough player. So, I think the toughness on the outside and toughness on the inside, 2 different things. High school, especially being kind of transitioning into town, transitioning into a new sport. And then I think with COVID hitting, like, that's a lot of change to deal with.
Mhm.
Talk to me about what that time was like for you during COVID.
Wow, COVID was really bad for me actually. Personally, I when COVID hit, they told us March 13th, no school. So, and then no school for 2 weeks. And then after the 2 weeks hit, it's just no school for the rest of the year. Um, I had actually stopped playing basketball because like COVID was affecting my family like crucially. So my mom wanted us to be more safe and like she quarantined us in our house for about like a good, I would say, when did it start? From April to November. So that was a really long time for me. Like I I had gained a lot of weight and I hadn't I hadn't really been mobile at the time. But then, my friend, as you guys know,
Mhm.
Aaliyah Monteval, actually she would always text me. She's always like, "You need to come here, blah, blah, you need to come to workouts." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll come with you." And so I went with her to one of the storm workouts, and from then on, I just kept going. And she's probably one of the big reasons why I came back into myself, and like I'm here today still playing basketball.
So what was it like with that relationship with her and then getting to play for the Storm? Because I think that's kind of when I first really started picking up and watching you over the summer. What was that club ball time like for you to, I feel like, build and grow, kind of taking you into like senior year?
Um, it was well, at first, because I had gained all that weight, I had like no I was not in shape at all. Like I had no stamina for it whatsoever. Um, at the beginning it was tough, but then as I kept like consistency, like I just kept going at it, pushing myself, and then I had lost about 30 pounds within the first month or two when I came back to go play with them.
Hmm.
And then, so obviously at the time, I was a sophomore and we didn't have any school basketball, but there were tournaments. So we played in tournaments for our own high schools, and it was it was really good. And then we stopped, and then that's when AAU started, and that's when like my game like really developed and peaked a little more. And so I think um that was just a transition of the whole from quarantine back into my routine.
That junior year going into senior year, you were playing for the Storm. Did you play in the tournament at the Las Vegas Convention Center South? I think you guys played like Shaq's
Oh
daughter
yeah, we did. We did. We played
and won.
yeah, we played her name is Mayara, right?
I think so.
Yeah, we played her. She's pretty tough, you
Yeah.
know. She's tall. Um
I remember watching that and thinking that was a really good challenge for
mhm.
you, like that whole game.
Yeah. I feel like um the main reason we won that was because we knew like everyone was gonna be there just to see her because she's Shaq's daughter, and so we just took it to like our hearts. We were like, oh yeah, we gotta win this because if we win this, then like it we're just like that. So um that game was pretty tough. I think um, one of my teammates were injured at the time, but she was pushing herself to like keep playing.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think that bond, like that hard work and like the motivation that we had, that's just what led us to win the game.
So, kind of coming from COVID, having to kind of pick up conditioning, get yourself back in shape, then going into the high school season, like what did your day to day kind of like regiment look like? Did you do like a lot of outdoor running? Did you do like lifting? Like, how did you kind of work yourself back into shape and get ready to kind of start the next high school season?
So, our coach at the time wasn't Coach Billy. It was Coach Cops, who's now coaching football at Gorman High School. So, um, he would make us, because he was our head coach at the time. He would make us go. He would set up times, and we called it the Breakfast Club. We we would go to the park that's right next to Del Webb. I forgot which one it's called. I think it's called Anthem Hills. I'm not sure. We would go there like every morning on the weekdays, and we would just work out our skills and condition there too. And so like it's the peak of dawn, like in the morning, and we gotta run, do all this, and it's cold, and we're just like, oh my gosh, when can we go home? But Coach Cops is not he's that type of person who doesn't care. Like he doesn't care if we're dying or like we're out of breath. He gonna make us run. So we already knew who he's been the coach for Liberty women's basketball varsity for I think a while. I don't know how much years. I think 10 plus years. So, we're just used to it and we do not want to get on his bad side. So we're just like, we got to push. We got to push. We got to get it going.
So when you
And
you look at the training you were doing then and now kind of moving over to CSN, how do you feel like that prepared you? And is there a huge jump? Like what does your training regimen look like now that you've kind of taken that next step to the college level?
lately, instead of like going outside to play on the courts, I would go to the gym and lift. Um, that's just me like trying to muscle up for this upcoming season. But then for regular basketball, like skill training, I would just text my coach, Coach Anthony, and he's like he's a training coach, so I would text him. I'll be like, "Hey, when can we meet up so we can get a couple like training sessions in?" And so I just go train with him, and I train with my team obviously. And yeah, those three workouts: the gym, skill training, and then workouts with my team.
So then outside of workouts, outside of conditioning, outside of strength training and lifting, nutrition. Do you have a diet, anything you follow? Is there anything that's like off limits or you're just like, hey,
To be honest, I do not. I mean, I think we just eat everything.
okay.
I think it's just the blood. We're not picky. If it's in our face, if it's right there, we'll eat it.
As I say, I feel like within the culture, there's a different appreciation for food. And I think you guys have a lot more variety and a lot more like
Yeah.
at your disposal, right? I'd imagine it's a little bit harder just to be like for family meals and stuff like, no, I'm having
Um, if you try to deny a meal, you get hit. So look, don't do that. Not in my family. Maybe you can try someone else's family, but no, not me.
not yours. Okay. Um, so senior year, talk to me kind of about the experience. Let's talk about like highs and lows. Like what were some like good memories, fond memories you have, and then we'll kind of get to kind of the end of the season.
Some good memories I had during my senior year was um probably our team bonding, and because we really struggled with team bonding in the beginning when Coach Billy came, because I feel like no one was connected. Everyone was just like, because you know how we start fresh out of AAU and then we
Hmm.
go back to season. Because AAU is just like, you playing by yourself. You're
Yeah.
trying to get your own. But for season, you actually got to play with you got to play together. But it was difficult for all of us to do that because everyone wanted to be selfish with the ball, or everyone just wanted to um, get their own. But it's a team effort and like teamwork. So we did some Coach Billy would make us do some like um team like buildings, and we would just go off of that. And since then he would make us do team building a lot, and like we started liking it, and then that's how we got closer. And so our bond as a team got stronger off the court, which made it stronger on the court as well. And so that's probably what my favorite memory was.
Okay. So season went well. You guys make it to the playoffs. You're in the game basically to qualify to go to state versus Coronado.
Mm.
Talk me through that last game of the
Oh,
season.
wow.
Because I think
So
going into the game, I would say you guys were kind of projected as a team that was going to come out on top.
mm,
During the season, you guys would beat Coronado by a couple points.
mhm.
Um, Walk me through kind of from your perspective, like how that game went, what happened.
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I already knew Coronado was a pretty tough team. I feel like my team was just not in the right mindset at the time. I don't know what we were all like. some of us were shaken up because my team at the time had a hard time defending the 3-point line. So that's what really killed us throughout that whole game
Mhm.
was 3-pointers. And so, like you got all of us running around, like trying to guard someone, and then there's a screen that's set on us, one of us, and then there's a person wide open, no help, open shot. And then they every time they had that open shot, they would make it. So that's what made the points go higher and higher. Um, I feel like some of our team, like they were worried about who was gonna play and who wasn't, because there was quite a few people on Coronado's team who were injured, like
Right.
Jayla,
Yeah.
and I know she's like a big stepping
Big
stone
piece
to
of it. Yeah.
to their team too. So they're all worried. Some of them were worried about that, and then others they're just, I guess, I don't know. I feel like because what happened with our previous team, not this year, but the other year when I was a junior, when we played Spring Valley too, it's kind of the same thing, semifinals, going to state. A lot of our teammates were like, they were just expecting to win against Spring Valley. So I feel like that's probably what happened with Coronado too. Like maybe because everyone has expectation. They think that, oh yeah, you're gonna win, you tell us,
Right.
and then everyone just gets a big head from it, and then you go in the game and you see the score, and then you just have like no energy to like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think you guys started off okay. There's a famous Mike Tyson quote that says like everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Mhm.
I feel like to what you were saying kind of about the threes, like
Mhm.
once you guys kind of gave up a few of those, it looked like you guys just couldn't recover.
Yeah.
Kind of like people got a little bit down on themselves and then they kind of just the energy shifted, they got the momentum,
Mhm.
and then you could see it in the players. Like
Yeah. A
it
lot
just
of.
kind of was hard to get back and they were kind of riding a high and they kind of just ran away with it after that.
Mhm.
So kind of taking some lessons from that coming into CSN, talk to me about what you think your biggest attributes are, kind of what you're going to bring to the team outside of what we already know, the toughness. And I think that part that I would say comes natural to you. Like, what do you think you can help the team with? What are you going to kind of bring to help lift them and push them and get them going?
Just mentally, like as a team, like bonding wise, to get to know them all. I feel like being understanding. I feel like that could help because I'm a very understanding person. I feel like if you tell me something, like I won't judge you for anything. Like, we all have different mindsets. We all do what we do, It's just like everyone's different. So there's no reason to judge because you might think what they're doing is not right and so and so. So I feel like I can bring that to the team.
Somewhat along those lines, we talked a little bit about like the COVID time. We talked a little bit about like mental toughness in the
Mhm.
team during that Coronado game. How do you feel that like mental toughness and just overall mental health impacts not just basketball, but sports?
Mental health is definitely a huge a part of like being an athlete in general, because if you're not in a good mental mindset, then you're just going to be down. Practice, you're going to be negative, and that negative energy can feed off to your other teammates and even your coaches, and then just the surroundings. It won't be a good place to be in. So if you as long as you keep yourself like mentally okay or like above that, then you can achieve whatever, because if you put your mind to it, you can do it.
So looking at to where you made it now playing for CSN, kind of on the court and off the court, what are your current kind of goals and aspirations for kind of your journey now?
Well, off the court, my goal is to get a 4.0 GPA, because I want our team GPA for CSN to like rise, because there was a couple of players who left that had good GPAs from at CSN. So I want
So
to
you got to
keep,
fill in that gap.
yeah, I want to fill it in, keep it going. On the court, my goal is to just keep pushing, surpass my limits, Um, just do better than what I did, like learn from my mistakes and play harder. Um, like I feel like my biggest challenge for basketball is defense
Mhm.
because I'm more of an offensive player. So I just need to work more on defense and I think I'll be okay.
Looking at your journey and your support system, talk to me about we'll start with family. Talk to me about the family backing and the people that kinda support you from, that home aspect.
So my family, I have a lot of family. And my biggest supporters are my parents, of course, and my uncles and aunties who live in other states. And my auntie that I mentioned before, she was one of my biggest supporters too. My the reason why we moved here. This is actually her. She passed away this past year, so I really miss her. But I know she's watching me from above. My dad and my family, they would always come to my games. They would always ask me, even family from Samoa, they would always ask me like how my games are going. They want me to send them film and stuff. They always ask me for updates and like how I'm doing, like how's the team doing. So I feel like they're just really supportive and I love that about them.
Talk to me about your auntie, that relationship that you guys had, um, and the kinda your overall family support. Like, what does that mean to you to have that? Does that help push you to keep you going?
Yeah, she keeps me really motivated because she's actually a really big sports like fan. I have two cousins who are in the NFL, and her husband is actually Panay Sewell, who is the Panay Sewell that's in the NFL.
Mhm.
His grandpa is her husband,
Okay.
so my uncle. So they're technically like they're supposed to be like my nephew-in-laws or something like that. But I don't know. I just call them my cousins. You know, we are all polys. I don't know. Sometimes you just even if you
Cousins.
don't know them, you're my cousin. But yeah, she is their biggest fan. Like just recently this year, Noah got drafted. I know she would have been really proud of him if she got to seen that. But um, she's always been there for them, and she always supports them just like she's been there for me and supported me. And I know she was proud of me, always doing what I have to do, even though there was some games she couldn't come. The most important one was probably my senior night.
Mhm.
A lot of my family was there to support me and cheer me on, so that made me really happy, and that just pushed me to do good that game.
Kinda leaning off your family support from a kind of coaching perspective, talk to me about what your kind of that family looked like of coaches, trainers that kinda helped build the player that you are today.
So when I first moved here, my first coaches were because I went to Schofield Middle School. My first coaches were Coach E and Coach BJ. They helped me to push me where I am, and they even after I left middle school and went on to high school, they went to Liberty too. They moved to Liberty, so they transitioned um from Schofield to Liberty. So I was blessed to have them for another 3 years. So in total I had them they coached me for 6 years. And then Coach Cops came in the picture when I was a seventh grader. So he's been there for me and he's always supported me too. I wanted him to come to my senior night, but there's just some problems that he had and he couldn't come, but he was thankful that I invited him stuff. So but I always thank them for where I am today because Coach Cobbs, his conditioning is just not fun. It's not fun.
So you mentioned senior night a couple times. When we go into the breakdown room, we're gonna watch the senior night video. I have it all queued up. But talk to me about, when I think of your senior night, first thing I think about is culture. Like that hits like as soon as you start the video for everybody that sees it. Like it's gonna be apparent. You're gonna go, whoa. there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about how important that is for you and kind of what that means, because I feel like that mixes kind of like the family dynamic, the
Mhm.
culture, like it's all kind of mixed into like one big like melting pot.
So for my culture, my Samoan culture, we're really prideful for like our own selves and our families. So like we support each other on everything, like graduations are really big. Like I feel like anything that is that can be achieved, like Polynesians or Samoans, they'll throw big parties just for you. And so like senior night, that same night we all went to Denny's. So I feel like just any celebration, like uh it's always going to be huge, culturally, and physically. um they're just always going to be there because they're our family is our backbone. So without them, it's like there's no one else for you, there's no one else there, there's no point. They've always supported, they provide us what we need. And especially with my parents, because my parents are from Samoa. Well, my dad was born in San Francisco, but he was raised in Samoa, and they're fluent in our language. And so when they moved here, that first they moved to Hawaii, it was tough for them because they had to transition from another island into America, which had more better things than Samoa did. So I feel like I'm just very thankful and grateful for them because they provided me and my siblings with everything that we need, and they made sure that we didn't go through the same things that they did.
They definitely went above and beyond. I'm thinking like of that senior walk. I mean,
Oh
the
yeah.
decorations and accessories
Oh
that
yeah.
were on your person at one time, like, I could see, like, this much of your face. It was like you guys will see it in the video. It was, like, decked out. It's pretty
You
cool
should
to
see my
experience.
graduation pictures. They were
More than that.
more than senior night. That's all because of my mom, because my mom likes to go above and beyond. She wants me to be like the the number one number one at anywhere I go. Like I have to look the best. I have to be the best. Like that's just how she is.
Yeah. So when you're kind of, like, looking through this entire experience, kind of looking as your journey for someone who kinda took the leap culturally, came here to the States, kind of got acclimated, got yourself in, if you could speak to the younger you for younger poly girls that are coming up that are either making the same transition or still kinda, like, finding their space, like, what
Mhm.
advice would you give them from kinda, like, the lessons that you learned?
I would say don't care what other people say. Like everyone judges one another. Judging is just something normal, but like if you just keep your mindset to yourself and you just like keep that as your main focus, then you'll get where you want without the people that you might want attention from, or you might want validation from. Like they don't matter. You matter, and your family and whoever else that supports and cares for you. But in sports, I would say just keep pushing. Sometimes it gets hard, especially a lot of athletes they go through like a mental break, and it'll make them question their decision if they want to keep playing their sport or not. I feel like you just got to keep pushing through, and then the outcome will be worth it. Like you'll get what you want.
Good message, good message, I agree. So, all right, we'll give your I want people to have again, I think the kind of the point of these podcasts are to let people get to know you off the court,
Mhm.
especially when people have seen highlights and they've been to the games. They have like one idea of who an athlete is or who a coach is. And so kind of the point of this is to give some of that like behind the scenes family culture background, and also to talk through like challenges, etc. Because I think, it's really easy to watch highlights of all-stars and Bronny James and, like,
Mhm.
think that things are always a certain way, and when you get to kinda watch some of the, like, behind the scenes documentaries and stuff, you kinda realize, "Oh, like, oh, he's a high school student. They're going through the same challenges I am. Like, and there's a lot of stuff I feel like that kids can learn from like getting to hear like the different experiences. And if someone who looks like me, it not only tells them like, okay, I can get through those challenges, but I think it also gives people the ability to see what they can become, like see that they
Mhm.
can make it to that step. It's
Yeah.
hard, I think, especially coming from like a culture where, there's not a ton of Polynesian basketball players, for example.
Mhm.
So for younger girls, when you don't see a ton of people that look like you might think like, hey, that might not be for me, and they might not even try. But when they'll have role models and they can say like, oh, she did it. She's got to that level. She's playing in college now. Like, I should stick with it. I should give it a chance. I think that's super powerful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you this camera right here. That's gonna be your camera. I'm gonna have you look there. I'm gonna have you give your Instagram handle, just where people can find you.
Mhm. Right now?
Yep, yep.
Oh. um, Adrienne underscore Puletasi. Or do I just like what?
That's it. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's it.
that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long have you been in a relationship for?
I've been in my relationship for a year and 3 months now.
Okay.
3 months.
How has this relationship contributed towards, again, playing sports?
Mm-hmm.
There's always a lot going on. You're balancing being a athlete with being a student. You have, responsibilities at home with the family. A lot of us like work during school and sports, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then like to balance a relationship on the side. Like, how have you been able to manage all of that?
Me and my boyfriend were kind of like we're not like as clingy as like a lot of relationships are. So I feel like that helps. And also we're both athletes. So we understand each other. Like if we tell each other we gotta go we have a workout, then they'll understand. Like they'll wait or well, when I have workouts, he'll have workouts. So like it like times out perfectly.
Hmm.
And I feel like it just depends on the person. Like if you two decide that you want to do this knowing that you might not have enough time for each other and stuff like that. But it's also on yourself, like if you want to make time for them or not. Cause I feel like everyone has time. It's just that, sometimes you just don't want to make that put in the effort to give the time to another person and stuff. So
Did he
yeah,
also go to Liberty?
he did.
Okay.
Do you want to know? or,
I'm
or are you
what sport did
curious?
he play?
He played football.
What position?
Um, uh, D line.
Trying to
I'm
guess in
not
my head.
sure if we would know him.
What class?
He's same class as me,
Same class.
23.
Is I don't want to guess wrong. I'm not gonna guess. I don't want to guess wrong. I have two guesses.
Who?
No, I don't want
Who's?
to. You tell me. I'll tell you if it was right or wrong.
Okay. Oh wait, I tell you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that wasn't.
Yeah.
I know who it is though, but
You
I'm
do?
glad I didn't guess.
Oh wow.
I'm not gonna say it out loud. We don't need them to watch the video and be like, "Oh, he thought it was me. It could have been me." So now transitioning from high school in a relationship, still playing sports, like how have you worked to kind of keep that together as you kind of like, it's going from high school to college is a big jump and journey on its own.
Mhm.
And you're trying to figure out like the situation, what I'm doing, and you're also trying to still cater to another person, make sure they feel like respected and that you're giving them attention. How have you like kind of balanced those?
We make time for each other. Like we FaceTime each other, the usual. Um, and no need to. I don't mean to sound corny, but yes, we sleep on FaceTime together. He lives in Cali now, so but um yeah, he so like it's I feel like it's more difficult now because or well actually, I don't even know. It like in person it was fine.
Hmm.
And I feel like now it's just better. I feel like it's just more of communication than just physically being there for them.
Right.
So I like communication, comprehension, that was really important for our relationship. And he communicates well. I try my best to communicate as much as he does to me. And so he he's about to start season because his schedule is really busy. currently, like for the past month, probably it's been really busy for
Mhm.
him. Like he has to wake up at 6 in the morning, then he has meetings at 7:30, breakfast, and then right after meetings he has a workout, and then he won't finish until like 11:30 or 12, and then he'll go back to his apartment for like an hour or two, and then he has to go back to another meeting,
Yeah.
another, because he plays for UCLA. So like, UCLA is one of the big schools, so
Yeah.
he has to stay on top of that. And obviously I understand, like, I'm like, there's some times where he's like out of it, and he like wants to just sometimes he just wants to stay home and sleep, and I'm like, no, you got to get up, you better go to your practice right now. So we motivate each other a lot. He motivates me a lot too.
That's I'll leave that alone. I think that was good. So do we agree we can keep this in? Was that good content? Is that all right? He says yes. He was the first one that said thumbs down. So he changed his mind. So we haven't said any names yet. So in the future,
Yeah, just cross, like when I told you his name, just cross that out in the video. As long as he knows that I
yeah,
put him in the video, then he'll
yeah,
be happy.
yeah. All right. We'll just splice a little part in
Yeah.
so he feels good. Okay. Leave UCLA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, going through the roster. Could it be?
Right.
Could it be? Could it be? So one question that we added in the last interview, and it's something I took from All the Smoke. They asked a question of if you could see someone on the podcast, who would it be? And so kind of the way I frame the question is in a sport that you didn't play, so
Mhm.
non-basketball, when you look at the people you knew, kind of like in high school, were there any athletes in a non-basketball sport that you feel like high caliber athletes that you would say would be a good candidate for coming on the podcast?
Okay.
Tell me the name, the sport,
Wait, how many have you had, more girls on podcasts or more guys on podcasts so far?
even. So this
It's
is number
even?
5, so it's been 2 and 2. So this is
Okay.
yeah,
Do you know who the next person that's gonna come here? Is it a boy or a girl?
girl.
Okay, I'm gonna just say Dua. So my friend Lendua Rayawa, he was the kicker for um Liberty's varsity football team.
Okay.
So I feel like he's a good candidate for this.
And now he goes to
He goes to UNLV now,
okay.
but he doesn't play any sports.
Okay.
He stopped playing football, but he's a good person,
Okay, got it.
good athlete.
Awesome. All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast, taking the time. Again, I think this is a good conversation, a good way to help not only get the kind of message and story about you out, but to help people, take a look inside of the athlete and get a little more of that behind the scenes and kind of become a little bit more familiar with you that, athletes aren't just the people on the highlights, that
Mhm.
there's like a big story behind it that comes with family and culture and like challenges, ups and downs. And I think this helps people kind of see that and get a little bit of that insight. So I appreciate you coming on. Thank you guys for watching. You can find us on Instagram at Anything for Sports and on YouTube at Anything for Sports TV. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.